Hi guys and gals, Shane Stevenson, Director of Museum Collections and Curator here at the Buffalo Naval Park. And for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Little Rock Superstructure. Alright, this is one of the things that's always fascinated me, is the size difference between the CL-92 Cleveland Class Little Rock and the CLG-4 Galveston Class Little Rock, and the changes to her superstructure over time. Alright, so what I did was this morning I measured things out. Alright, I used the old blueprints, I used some modern 1960 blueprints, and some CL55 or Cleveland class blueprints, and let's take a look. Alright, so you see here, the superstructure begins right here now. Alright, fan room, you've got the twin 5-inch there. Alright. Officer of the deck, passageway, and aha! See that little blue mark? This is where the superstructure, the forward superstructure, started. Right? It was about 175 feet to the bow. Alright, I got out the trusty tape measure. And we are looking at about frame 43. So all of this forward was added. This was the turret 61. This was actually turret 62. Alright, so let's head inside. So if we're going on the interior, we have stateroom, staterooms both over here. Alright, 2 doors, stateroom here. Aha! Handling room for the 5-inch, originally for turret 62. So again, at that distance, we are looking at about right here is where the superstructure started as a Cleveland class. Sorry, the transformers are a little loud, so you're never going to be able to see this, but what do we have right here? Boom. There is the barbette for turret 62 on the outside, as you can see, and here it is here on the inside. Alright, so we've got a fan room. Alright, we have a fan room right here. Here's the 5-inch for mount 51. Would have been somewhere around here. Heading down this passage, the 5-inch handling room would have been here. This is now unusable head. Alright, guest quarters, stores over here. Alright, and then we would get to the captain's stateroom. Alright, the captain's quarters, guest quarters over here, roughly. And you can see those 2 large spaces right there with the tables. Alright, so all of this area that we're walking through would have been this area here. Alright, starting with the 5-inch handling room. Alright, all the way over here, through to port, and then the superstructure would have ended here, roughly around here. It would have been outside. This was an outside area, and then leading to the barbette for turret 62. So that's a lot of real estate. Okay, now let's do the same thing aft. Now when we review blueprints and the construction of CLG-4 from her Cleveland class, really they ripped everything off of the main deck except for the first turret, turret 61. Everything else has been removed. We're now midships. And of course the deck houses were much more narrow in her Cleveland class configuration as well. So really we're looking, this might have been the original, not architecture itself, not the original steel and aluminum framing, right? But that might mimic the length that would have been on the original configuration, or the beam of the hull over here to the start of the deck houses. Then of course here you have the creation of the missile house. Alright, so as I've measured it out, we are looking at about 195 feet from the stern, which is right here. Measuring it out this morning, right with that valve opening there. Alright, 195 feet. So, look at the missile house here. And all of this would have been open. So again, yeah, this represents the ending of the aft superstructure right here, leading up, and now we can see how much with that 1960 Talos technology did the missile house need to expand to the aft of the ship. And so now it ends right here. But from the stern of the ship over there to where I pointed out over there was 195 feet of deck. And of course, this launcher, the Mark 7 launcher for the Talos, was the most aft turret 64. Alright, so there would have been turret 63 here. Alright, and then of course the start of the aft deck house, and then again with mount 56. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, mount 56. Alright, so let's head in, kind of like we did forward. Alright, now we're in the missile house. Again, all of this real estate would have been outside, or the interior's beginning roughly there. I mean, the missile house has such a wider berth than the actual deck house. So standing around here is about 195 feet. Again, I measured it out. So what we would have had here was the 5-inch handling room for that last 5-inch twin. All right, let's see, somewhere around here. Center line of the ship, right over there. And this area on the main deck for the aft deck house was the food prep. So roughly around here would have been the vegetable prep on port. All the way over there, we would have had the butcher shop and meat preparation. Somewhere around here, you would have had the actual galley. So all of the griddles, right? You know, the pictures show, let's see if I can get it. Alright, so as I mentioned, the 5-inch handling, and again, I don't have my glasses, but veg prep, meat prep up there. We've got the fryers. Down here on starboard where I just am is griddles, and then we have all the kettles. Alright, and then you have the dummy waiters that would have brought the food down to where the galley was on the third deck. So again, all of this real estate, alright, was added. Alright, and I'm glad we're able to do this because we are the last standing Cleveland class. So probably butcher shop around here. Again, it wasn't as wide, so maybe this is where the deck house would have started, and all of this would have been outside to the main deck. Right? And then the 5-inch handling room, yeah, in the middle, somewhere around here. Right, so all of this real estate would have ended here. All of this would have been outside. I hope that gives you a good comparison when we talk that they just ripped off the old superstructure, left nothing but turret 61, started fresh with all the aluminum and all the steel and all the building. And you can see how much real estate has been added. All right, so hopefully this answers any of your questions. If you have questions about the Cleveland class, how big was the superstructure, USS Little Rock is the only one that we would be able to officially answer that question. Here we go again. All of that real estate. Turret 64. Probably turret 63 right over there. Then the start of the aft deck house. Then the last twin 5-inch beyond there. Well, hope you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe, ring the bell, and thanks so much for watching, and we will see you again soon.